How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and of course we have a bunch of little tidbits to go through, as well as kind of dissecting something that a viewer said in my stream yesterday. He joined the call-in and he made a valuable point, and I've been pondering over this for a while, and so I wanted to talk about the world, at least touch on it a little bit. And of course we finally have confirmation that PlayStation games are in fact on Xbox by none other than D himself. He makes the admission and confirms that they are in fact on PlayStation. More on that in the video. So let's get cracking. Without further ado, here we go. So first things first, I just wanted to give a shout out to my good friend Chille. He decided to make a little fan art for me, which I think is so cool. He says, I made a new advertisement campaign for you. This is a chaos. This is a chaos. This is a chaos. Good YouTuber. This isn't a chaos. Just a pony. I love it. I love it, Chille. I love it. Thank you so much, dude. That was actually awesome. This is the first time anyone's ever done something like this for me. So yeah, I truly appreciate it. This is really, really good. And being a Sonic fan myself, this actually means a hell of a lot more to me. So yeah, totally awesome, dude. Thanks a lot. All right, so getting to the nitty-gritty stuff now that we've gotten over my little thingamajig there. There's a GameFile interview with Phil Spencer, because apparently now Phil has decided that he's going to go and just talk about everything and anything and have conflicting views and conversations with everyone, where he says one thing and then says something else completely on the other side that completely contradicts what messaging he's trying to give. But this is Phil Spencer, folks, and that is exactly what he does. He's a wordsmith. He kind of tries to be fully transparent without being transparent at all, and then kind of muddle things up while they're getting their message out bit by bit, slow by slow. And 2024, as Paris has said in his little kind of Vidoc on his X account, has been super aggressive for Microsoft. They've kind of taken the gloves off and are now going gung-ho. But there's a bit more context now in that article that he's referring to, and obviously we would love to get into this, and I'm probably going to at this point probably pay for GameFile, because Totilo actually does do a lot of these interviews, and there's a lot of good context in these. But this is currently paid for, and I haven't actually done the 7-day trial, but I've heard enough from people to get the gist of it, and the bullet points that Clute puts here is pretty much the key points. So I just wanted to go through them because they are important and it gives context to what's going on. And he says, Phil says, putting Indiana Jones on a subscription service brought in extra headache with licenses. Now, clearly, this is referring to the Marvel license, the contract. We've seen how nasty the Insomniac one is. Even selling 11 million copies, Spider-Man, more than likely, I'm about 95% sure, didn't break even, which is crazy. So you can imagine how many units you need to sell, combined with digital, physical, bundled, etc., in order for you to start breaking even. This is also why Spider-Man more than likely had their DLC cut and were forced to release the game on PC instead to try and maximize that profit and actually, cover their costs so they don't get fined, because there is a fine if you don't actually meet their requirements within a set time period. So I can understand why Indiana Jones is going, because if they have a similar contract there, selling 11 million copies on Xbox alone, even with the day and date on PC, I don't know. It's a lot. 11 million copies is a lot. And, well done to Spider-Man 2 for selling 11 million copies. 11 million copies is a staggering amount. And for it not to break even, I can understand why, games contracts like these on a subscription service just isn't it. And obviously this contract was made prior. I'm not sure if the subscription was even factored in. So, it's going to be interesting to see, but I expect Blade will have a similar thing because it's going to be in the subscription, and that is just a thing. Organic collaboration between Call of Duty and Xbox teams went very well. More room for smaller hit titles like Grounded, which was made by 12 people. And though someone on X I was talking to was saying stuff like, Hi-Fi Rush is a smaller title. Now, they're talking about smaller titles like Grounded, that was made by a minimalistic team when Matt Booty said smaller teams. And, he even name dropped the Dave the Diver. So these are the type of things that they're referring to. And of course, there's the Age of Mythology on consoles and on mobile that was released in October. So the messaging for Xbox is this. This is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, this is a Catbox, etc. What they're trying to say is, it starts and ends with the Xbox, but everything in between is available on the cloud for you to go and play. And now a lot of people are saying, well, it's not really selling the console. It's not promoting the console. But the reality is you'll be able to buy your games on the cloud and play them. Now, this is obviously going to be through xCloud. xCloud is powered by Series S's and Series X's, which means they are Xboxes. They are the Xbox console. Yes, they're kind of data centers and they are Series X's, then they get split into 4 blades to make the Series S, but essentially they are being built on, those cloud games are being run on consoles. So essentially, if you've got 20 million cloud players, those are 20 million console owners. They aren't running a system where it's different to the Series X, it's different to the Series S. It is the same thing. So I think this misconception here is where people are kind of saying, well, and I've seen Jet say this as well, it isn't an Xbox, but you, even on the cloud, you are, at least on xCloud, not GeForce Now, but xCloud, you are playing on an Xbox just through a cloud network. Now, the whole, what about my backwards compatibility, my 360 games, my Xbox One games that are digital, those aren't available on the cloud. That's a different matter entirely and a different conversation. And if you want the full Xbox experience, you buy the console, and Phil has already confirmed that for those people that are seeking the full Xbox experience, the consoles will always be a thing. But if you're just looking for that first party experience, there are now multiple ways to experience it. And as we can see here from D, well, D says Xbox is anything that plays Xbox games. So you can all relax. Now, I did not switch. And this is really important because it's good that D's finally accepting this. I told you many times before, Xbox is a PC. And considering PlayStation games are now on PC, that means PlayStation games are on Xbox. So confirmed by D himself, PlayStation games are now officially on Xbox. I just wanted to point that out because, you know what? If that's where he wants to go with this and mock people, I'm okay with that. But now he confirms that Xbox is PC. This is confirmed by D. So that means all PlayStation games that are now ported to PC are on Xbox. I'm okay with that. Now this is the final thing second to last thing I wanted to talk about, and it's this post here, this kind of point here, where it says, Phil says, I do not see sort of red lines in our portfolio that say thou must not. And this is the one that's kind of thrown everyone off in this article, because no red line means anything and everything is gung-ho. And, it's a little weird, because when you're thinking of games like the 5 staples now, because that's what I call them, the 5 tempos, Gears, Halo, Forza, Fable, and now Starfield, me personally, I don't like the fact that they would go to other platforms. I don't really care about anything else, because they've been multi-platform at some point anyway. But for the most part, those 5 to me are tempos. But this statement here is where everyone, that coupled with the next point, it's too early to make any sort of decision on the next version of Halo, he said. Now, what's important here, and this is something that was kind of brought up yesterday in my call-in, these two statements are not connected. Now, what was the question that was asked to instigate this response? Now, obviously, this could be reaching, and I'm not going to, discount that. I'm not going to say that, it's not back-to-back. But clearly there is a question before here that we don't know the answer to. That question could be, is Halo going to be on the current gen? It's too early to make any sort of decision on the next version of Halo, whether it's going to be on the current gen or the next gen. It could be that they're asking, is it going to be multi-platform? Is the Halo multiplayer going to be free for next gen? Are they going to be making a new Halo multiplayer? What I'm saying is, the actual question for this was deliberately left out. It's weird because the first part is them referring to this top part here, but the second part, this part here, that is the most important part, at least when it comes to, talking about, Halo and everything else. This one here is what's important, but there is no contextual question for it. And in my opinion, Bloomberg has left that out purposefully, because it would have taken them, an extra 5 seconds to write that question? But to leave it as ambiguous as possible to get more people talking about this article, coming back to this article, referring to this article, it was done deliberately for that exact reason. And that, to me, makes this whole point now sus. Now, again, it could very well be that there's no red tape and they're not, they don't care anymore about anything and everything's on the table. Or it could just be that they, in regards to Halo, they still hold some kind of thing. I don't know. But this, to me, after talking to JD yesterday on my stream, it just didn't hold. It just didn't hold ground. And the way it's written is what's questionable here. And before anyone says, well, it's clearly there, the media wouldn't lie. Really? The media would never lie to get clicks? Really? Is this where is that, if that's the path you're going down? Really? But yeah, you can see that these 2 points here are completely disconnected. These two answers are completely isolated. We don't know what the question was, and it's a shame that Bloomberg did not put that question in to clarify exactly what the question was in referring. Because a lot of people expect this to be, is Halo going to be on PlayStation? But for all you know, it could be absolutely anything. It could be, is Halo going to be a live service? It's too early to make that sort of decision on the next video. Can you see now how that response can literally fit multiple different questions? That question was deliberately left out, and it was done purposefully by Bloomberg to instigate this sort of conversation, this sort of response, and to have people coming in, clicking on the article so they can make money. The whole thing is clickbait. At least that's the way I'm seeing it, until we actually get the answer to this question, because this is really, really poor journalism. Well, I guess you could say smart, because it's getting people to click, but it's not delivering the full picture. It's not giving you the full context. There is a lot of that question that is there, that is missing so much context, and will add so much to this. It could very well be they are asking, is this going to be on Switch or PlayStation? Or, they might even be talking about the Master Chief Collection, or just Halo in general, the past games. Or maybe they're talking about, the Halo Combat Evolved remake. This response could be answering absolutely anything. And as such, to me, we will never get the context for the question, means absolutely nothing. So I hope that's a good enough response. And finally but not least, Stellar Blade is going to be having their new Nier Automata release for their DLC, which a lot of people assumed would be a free DLC because it was kind of insinuated. It was never said to be a paid DLC, but Stellar Blade have confirmed the Nier DLC is paid, while the rest, the photo mode and the costume updates, are free. But the Nier DLC is going to be paid DLC. No information on how much it's going to cost. No information on anything really. They're keeping that to the chest. There's 4 days left, I guess, now before it comes out. It's a bit crazy to not even release a price, but hey, I'm guessing it's not going to be cheap if they are holding it this close to their chest. That's it though. that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative. I know it was a little long, and I hope you enjoyed the timestamps so you can get to the points where you really want to get to. But in regards to Halo and that question, at this point, that response could have meant absolutely anything. And therefore, it's pretty much a nonsensical answer. It's nonsensical to even focus on what it's actually asking or what the point actually is. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about anything you've seen in this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until the next video, I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell and stay up to date with all content I release. And I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.